So I wanted to talk about the unique role of the legislature in the rulemaking process. As you may be aware, the state of California has over 200 state agencies, departments, boards, commissions, councils that can make public policy via their authority to adopt regulations, that is, by utilizing their rulemaking authority. There's a lengthy list of state agencies that have adopted regulations, which can be found on the website of the California Office of Administrative Law, OAL, at www.oal.ca.gov. And OAL's website also provides direct access to the California Code of Regulations, the CCR, which is organized in 28 subject matter titles by number. Now, there are several ways in which the legislature is able to influence the executive branch rulemaking activities of these state agencies, primarily through lawmaking and the budget process. For example, the legislature can adopt statutory changes to expand or limit a specific state entity's authority to adopt regulations. Or the legislature can utilize the proverbial power of the purse strings through the annual state budget process to try and persuade a state agency in regards to its rulemaking activities. California law also provides a unique role for the legislature to influence these quasi-legislative efforts by an executive branch agency. So the APA, the Administrative Procedure Act, requires procedures for rulemaking as well as administrative hearings of these numerous state agencies and departments. The APA is found in the Government Code, and it's based largely on the federal APA. Now, the legislature has the ability to review regulations. Under the joint rules of the California Legislature, the Joint Rules Committee, as well as the respective rules committees of the Assembly and Senate, are actually authorized to approve any request for a priority review of a regulation. And this is found in Government Code Section 11349.7. If such a request is actually approved, then the Joint Rules Committee submits the approved request to the Office of Administrative Law, OAL. In addition, under the joint rules, any member of the Senate may request the Senate Committee on Rules, and any member of the Assembly may request the Speaker of the Assembly to direct a standing committee of their respective House or the respective Office of Research of his or her respected House to study any proposed or existing regulation or even group of related regulations. Now, when the Senate Rules Committee or the Assembly Speaker receives this study request, in reviewing the request, the Speaker and the Senate Rules Committee is required to determine the cost of making the study, the potential public benefit to be derived from that study, and the scope of the study. Under these joint rules, the study may consider, among other things, whether the proposed or the existing regulation exceeds the agency's statutory authority, fails to conform to the legislative intent of the enabling statute, contradicts or duplicates other regulations adopted by federal, state, or local entities, involves an excessive delegation of regulatory authority to a particular state entity, unfairly burdens particular elements of the public, imposes social or economic costs that outweigh its intended benefits to the public, or imposes unreasonable penalties for violation of the regulation. The review must be done in a timely manner, and any concerns are required to be transmitted to either the Senate Rules Committee or the Assembly Speaker, as well as the relevant state agency that has promulgated the regulation. In the event that a state entity takes a regulatory action that the reviewing entity finds to be unacceptable, then the entity is required to file a report for publication in the Senate or Assembly daily journals, indicating the specific reasons why the regulatory action should not have been taken. This report may include a recommendation that the legislature adopt a concurrent resolution requesting the state agency to reconsider its action or that the legislature enact a statute to restrict the regulatory powers of that state entity that's taking action.